My life is in your hands. My life is in your hands. You took control when I was young, when I was not able. My life is in your hands. My life is in your hands. You took control when I was young, when I was not able.
Hi, welcome to Inspired Lessons with Jean Marie Prince, and this is part 2 episode. And I felt that it was a very important episode to continue the conversation. And my guests are Dr. Rich Petras, neuropathic doctor, and Stacie Xapit, and in which Life Vantage is the company that they represent, and it restores your DNA back to your original blueprint. And these days, with people that have taken the jabs, and they're very concerned because there are people that die suddenly, and and it seems like that's what's happening. So I know we had kind of continued the conversation after the first recording, and I just felt that it was so much, so important for people to really understand and why you do this, Dr. Rich, and how you feel that Life Vantage has helped your patients. And thank you, Stacie Z, for you doing the interview on Mark Z, your brother's YouTube, because that's where I got to really see the importance of Life Vantage, even though I take the product myself and I do feel a difference. Okay. So Dr. Rich, if you can be able to share more about Life Vantage.
Well, in reality, Jean Marie, it comes down to this one very important concept. When things start to go south in our cells, it's like a snowball rolling down a mountain. Okay. And the problem is when we get older, over the age of 30, we have less and less opportunity or ability in our cells and our genome to recognize there's a problem. And if the genes can even see that there's an issue in performance in our body, they can't issue commands to fix it, because that all has to do with the amount of gene expression that occurs, so that the 20 to 35,000 genes in the nucleus of 17 trillion plus cells in our body, and everybody's genome is different. It's completely different. There's similarities, but it's different. It's very unique in its makeup.
Well, that's because God created us all individually to be
Correct,
unique.
correct. And in his image, and that's an important thing. But unless you're a centurion, centaurians are unique in that when they turn 30, their gene expression doesn't drop off like this. So their genes continue to make those antioxidative enzymes, glutathione, superoxide dismutase, catalase, and hemioxygenase, at very youthful levels. So they don't age very much and they don't get sick. And if they do, they get over it very quickly, because they still have that real high maximum production of those very important antioxidative enzymes that neutralize the bad guys that cause all the disease, the free radicals. So the advantage to this is when one chooses to take, and they can again go back and learn all about these three at scienceandtiming.com and get all the information that they need from a research perspective in the conclusion, so they'll know what is going to happen. But when you take all three together, then your body functions from that moment on like a centurion. You should expect to live to be 100 years of age or older if you hydrate your body properly, if you eat correctly, if you have proper bowel elimination, don't poison yourself, and activate the genetic pathways. Now, increasing the production of the antioxidative enzymes is real important, but increasing your gene expression. Your genes, if they're in the brain, they express themselves at a high vibratory frequency, so you have proper neurological function. If the genes are in the liver, they express themselves in that organ so that you have proper liver function. But the key is it's got to be as high as possible. That's the way our body is designed to function when we're young. That's why we don't see aging and we don't see manifestation of disease until 30, 40, 50, 60. The older we get, the less enzymes produced after age 30 because the gene expression goes down and we get sicker and sicker and sicker. This process increases the gene expression so high that the genes increase their cellular intelligence like they were almost newborn. And it's like that malware program that I talked about in the first session. Your genes now are always looking. They're purposely looking for, go ahead, somebody mess up. Somebody do something they're not supposed to. And I'm going to catch you and I'm going to scold you for it and stop you by sending reinforcements. The proper cells or the proper electrochemical commands from the genes to stop the bad performance. And if it caused damage, to immediately give commands to repair the damage of cells, of DNA, to minimize inflammation, to minimize fibrosis, to upregulate where necessary. It's too slow. Downregulate where it's too fast. But to repair the damaged DNA. If the DNA is purposely damaged for some reason, okay, by personal choice or whatever, if the damage occurs in our DNA, the genes, the cellular intelligence will recognize it if you open up the oxidative stress genetic pathway, the mitochondrial genetic pathway, and the sirtuin genetic pathway, the three theories of aging and disease. Put those three formulas together. Now your genes have trifocals and can see everything that's going on. And if it's abnormal, they're going to know it and they're going to issue commands to stop the abnormal performance of the cells and repair the damage that was done by whatever was introduced to the body to cause the damage.
Well, I'll tell you, devastating is this mRNA that are in these jabs, and something that they've never used before, and it causes the spike proteins. And then also it's editing the gene. So, I mean, thank goodness I didn't take this shot because, first of all, it was an experimental and I didn't want to be a guinea pig. But I also don't trust big pharma as well. I'm more into the holistic. And but if anybody who did take it, and like I said, was saying in the first interview, was the fact that people who are concerned with the shedding, the transmission from people who are vaccinated. This seems like it's a great way of also people being able to detox the ones that decided not to get the jab. Now,
this is important, real quick. Stacie and I go through this all the time because people contact us and they say, "Should I be taking NAC, which is N-acetylcysteine, or should I be taking a glutathione supplement?" The answer to both of those is no. Okay. But glutathione, Stacie and I both know all of the doctors that talk about some kind of an approach to stabilize the body because they were damaged due to the jab. They all talk about increasing the level of glutathione. Okay, well, if you take a glutathione supplement, your genes aren't going to make it. It's like taking insulin. Your body won't make insulin if you inject it. Why should it do it? So, and the other is N-acetylcysteine is a precursor to the genes making glutathione. But there are 4 antioxidative enzymes, not just glutathione. There's superoxide dismutase, catalase, and hemioxygenase. The way the body was designed to maximize their production equally, all 4 of them, so that you can get maximum destruction of the free radicals. But with that approach, the focus is only increasing glutathione, which has to happen to stabilize performance of the body if it was damaged due to a jab. Okay. So why not increase the production of all of them, but increase them to maximum levels? And the good news is, we didn't have time to talk about this in the first video. Our scientists at Vantage just came out with the micronutrients that are necessary to optimize the function of the cells first thing during the day and throughout the day, and the micronutrients that are necessary to be put into the body to get the body to tone down and repair as you sleep, and repair your circadian rhythms, get them correct so that you can sleep correctly and so on. But if you want to do that, do not eat 3 hours before you go to bed, because that will interrupt that and cause many other problems. But here's the wonderful news. We already know through the research conclusions, and we can send you to a video and you can watch a research scientist explain the research results, and they could not believe the bump in glutathione when you added NAD to NRF1 and NRF2. You'll learn that at scienceandtiming.com. Just go, and it's their teaching sites. It's just so that you can gain the information. But with these micronutrients, if you take them with the NRF1, NRF2, and NAD in the morning, it has been proven to get a bump of what, 67% of glutathione?
67%. So I mean, the NRF2 gives you a 300% increase, but then you add those micronutrients and you get another 67% on top of it.
Plus you get a bump in the other antioxidative enzymes, and everything that occurs when now the body is functioning like it's supposed to in a state of homeostasis, and the genes are recognizing, don't anybody try even think of doing something wrong, because now we're maximized in our performance and we've got the bad guys stopped and we're repairing now. Okay, so if you want to try to do something, go ahead. I'm on you. That's what happens with this process. But the bump now that the doctors are requiring, saying it's necessary to neutralize the damage to the jabs, is even greater than it was before, when we got all of the stabilization with, I'm just going to say this, thousands of people. I've worked with 26,000 plus people in the last 5.25 years since coming out of retirement, but thousands during the peak of that problem in our last couple of years. And I don't know of anybody that's called and said, so-and-so, my husband, my wife, my grandmother, and whatever passed away. Thank you for your help. I have not had one call like that. That could have happened. Okay. Once a point at a time, and then the judgment. People are going to die. But I don't know of anybody that passed because they were struggling with the damage that occurred because of the decision that they made. So,
and people aren't realizing that this jab, maybe something didn't happen to them that moment, but the doctors who are virologists who research what's in these jabs, they say that they are going to see from like 2 to 5 years. Yes. You know, and as time goes on, you know, maybe they were lucky to get a saline solution, but possibly most likely not, you know, and yeah, so it's just important. It really is. And that's why I really wanted to have you guys, because I know that there's other companies that are offering, you know, to say, oh, you know, this would be great for detoxing and things like that. But, you know, when I was speaking to Stacie, you know, and just like you said in the first interview, is that these other products are just working in one specific area, where yours is working in a broader area. You know, I used to represent a nutritional company, and I would say this is that, you know, with the DNA is, you know, how it's important to repair your cells. You know, let's say you take a fireplace and you have the fireplace glass doors or whatever open, okay? And now you have a hearth rug in front of it. And what happens is you get those little kindles of fire, okay? And so you can think of those kindles of fire as free radicals. whether you got that kindle of fire free radical from the drinking of the wine, or from the air pollution, or from the toothpaste, or from the skincare. It's everywhere. You just can't, stop it. And so what happens is eventually when you have fire burning that hearth rug, okay, you're damaging it. And if you don't have an antioxidant to kill every free radical, one antioxidant to kill that, okay, stabilize, let's say, and then what happens is you end up with a damaged cell. You end up with cancer. You end up with heart disease. You end up with diabetes, whatever, it ends up being. And so by you end up, taking that antioxidant, is that you're repairing those cells, because what happens is every 3 to 6 months, our cells get duplicated with the previous cell damage. So if you have a pizza pie, you put the slice out, what happens is the fact that now you're duplicating with that slice out. But now the second time, if you don't do anything to repair your cell, now you have 2 slices out of that cell that are damaged. And so eventually what happens, you end up with a disease. And that's what, by taking your product as an overall product, like you're saying, it's not just targeting one area, but it's repairing the whole cell versus that one slice of pie. Correct?
Correct.
Exactly.
That is correct. And very quickly, when we're younger than 30 or like 15 or 18 or whatever, we have such an overabundance of antioxidative enzymes to neutralize free radicals. So free radicals don't stand a chance. We've got more than enough. That's why we don't age. And if we get sick, we get over it quickly. But the problem is 30 and older, when we lose the ability of our genes to express themselves correctly and they don't make as many of those. That's when disease and aging begin to manifest. And the older we get, the less enzymes we produce and the greater the damage that takes place. So the key is to stop the damage and get the body to repair itself. But how do we know where to do it? How does a doctor know where all the damage is and what drug to use to repair the cells? You can't, because that's not the way allopathic medicine works. They just simply treat the symptoms and get the symptoms to be diminished so that you're more comfortable. This actually signals the encodedness and flips the switch and activates our genes so that now our genes recognize what's wrong, and they do exactly where, when, and how much, and to the extent necessary to fix that person's problem. How much better could it be, Jean Marie and Stacie?
Right. Now we're talking about how we're repairing the gene back to its original blueprint. But I know that what this jab has done is killed people's immune system. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they are sick. That's why they're getting the C, virus that they were so afraid of. So so by repairing the cell, you're building up the immune system to be able to fight those things.
Well, what's the immune system made of? 5 very sophisticated white killer cells.
Yep.
And if they're being damaged 24 hours a day by free radicals, not only can they not recognize an aversive pathogen like yeast or parasites or virus or whatever, they can't destroy them. But if you stop the damage to those white cells and they're reactivated again, look out, anything that's aversive, because it's going to get destroyed.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, how does it help with cancer?
Okay, well, you can go to PubMed.gov and look at the research. Cancer is a mutation of your genes, okay, which causes scar tissue, and which causes inflammation and fibrosis. And the worse that gets, and the worse the mutation that occurs, then you've got a tumor, or you've got abnormal cells in your blood called leukemia. What causes that? Age-related oxidative stress, the fancy word for massive free radical damage. So the key is to first stop the damage and then revitalize the cells of the immune system and get the rest of the body to function correctly and go after them and destroy them.
Right.
I've had people that had 2, 3, 4 weeks to live with what they said was cancer. So somebody's liable to say now, are you saying, Dr. Rich, that those pills cure cancer? They don't cure anything. They activate genetic processes in the body and get the body to be able to recognize what's wrong and do what it's designed to do, to keep us healthy and not aging. That's the beauty of this. It is the biggest breakthrough in medicine. It's the biggest paradigm shift in medicine. And Stacie and I have made this challenge over and over and over again, folks. If you can find something else out there with all of the research, almost half a century, and all the science behind it, not a supplement, like a prescription medication, is not to get nutrients in your body. These are activators, not supplements. If you can find something else that'll do it, let us know, and we'll pass that on. But I don't know of anything else.
Stacie, can you just again go over what Dr. Rich was saying about the PubMed.gov?
And I will say this, I actually have a family member that no longer has cancer thanks to the Protandim NRF2 and a low dose ivermectin. The doctor was stunned and couldn't figure it out. So yes, we have multiple people that we've helped with that.
Now, tell me also, your product, you have a pet tandem for pets?
For pets, yes, it's a wonderful thing. We have collagen. We have actually one of the cleanest lines of skincare as well. LSU did a huge study on our lotions and how they affect skin cancer. There's this thing called a Think Dirty app. You can actually put our products in. We have one of the lowest scores ever and out of the products for how healthy it is.
Sounds like I'm gonna have to stop taking my having individual things and just get all my Vantage.
and the hair care also.
Oh yeah. Hair care, a huge difference for people. Like during COVID, one of the things Dr. Rich and I did is we introduced everybody to the hair care system because they were losing their hair. And a lot of people, thankfully, they have hair again. So between the collagen, the hair care system, the skin care system, now we've got the vitamins that help synergize and work together with the activators, the NRF1s, NRF2s, and the NADs. It's just, and the gut health. So important. We've got an amazing probiotic and prebiotic.
Yes, I'm taking that.
Yep.
And why is the skincare and the hair care so effective? Because of NRF2 transcription factor. The NRF2 activators are also in the skincare and the hair care.
Yes. So all the products, the basis to everything we have is the Protandim NRF2, because without that, the other products don't work as well. But that's how it works so darn well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I take all your products, am I going to look 15?
Possibly. Hey, I'm 55. Can you tell?
I'm 104.
I'm actually older than you, Stace.
I'm older than both of you. I'm 73.
See that? Yeah, no, but you know what? On the outward, yeah, we can turn gray, and actually I would be gray, but anyway, the thing is that it's how we feel inside. Do we have the energy to get up in the mornings? And to be able to, like myself right now, I'm like expecting my 4th grandchild, you know what I'm saying? And to be able to have the energy to play with them, and which I do. So it is so important. Like I said, I've always been into, into health, because I guess I was trying to find the fountain of youth. And the thing is that, your products seem to offer health, because I guess I was trying to find the fountain of youth. And the thing is that, your products seem to offer a well balance overall. First of all, our skin is the largest organ of our body, and like I said, is every 3 to 6 months, you know, if we don't take care of ourselves, we are damaging ourselves. It just can't, it gets duplicated like that and continues, and then you end up with the diseases. So your products, you know, sounds like it's going to try to prevent those damages.
And this is
Exactly.
important. I just dealt with this last night, Stacie, and it was a really good ending. This person was angry with us, and because they said, you told me to take this because I had migraine headaches, and it would help to alleviate these migraine headaches, and I've been taking it 3 months and it didn't work. And we thought, well, gee, that's interesting. Where did you get them? You didn't get them from us. We didn't help you to order them. Well, here they bought them from Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we do not provide, I mean,
Mm.
most any company that's out there that sells natural formulations goes through this. There are scammers, and these the products that are on at Amazon that are supposed to be LifeVantage nutraceutical formulas are Chinese knockoffs. And we've had some people, Jean Marie, that got really sick. A couple were hospitalized. One was really fighting for her life because of they were poisoned by what they thought was Protandim NRF2. Do not do that. You can buy other things from Amazon, but supplements.
Well, these days, I see anything from China, I'm like, you know, I don't even want it because I just don't trust it. And by the way, I'm not made in China. I was made in Korea.
Yeah, yes. You're a miracle in Korea.
But I'm American. I came over here when I was 5 years old, so I'm just grateful. But you know, the thing is that you just don't trust. You can't. You know, that's why you really have to get it from the source of the
Yes.
original place.
Had a referral from this young girl from Canada, and it was in February. She was tired, and they were planning their wedding in late April. So she went to the hospital and had some tests, and they went back in a week, and the doctors said to her, we're sorry to tell you, but you have stage 4 cancer. You have 4 weeks to live. So I told she was referred to me, and I told her about the process and told her what to do, and don't take any other vitamins, supplements, whatever. Well, in 10 days, she's crying. She called back, said, it's not working. Nothing's happening. I said, are you still taking your supplements? She said, yes. I said, stop taking the supplements. It's not working because of that. Her fiance made sure she did that. I didn't hear from her. I didn't know whether she passed or what. So 4.5 weeks later, she calls, and she's crying so hard I can't understand her. And I said, what's the matter? What's the matter? I'm not going to use her name. And she said, I just want to tell you, I went back for a follow-up visit, and they did the same battery of tests. And the doctors basically said, I don't know what you did, but keep doing it. You are cancer free.
Wow, praise God.
So
praise God.
that happened in 3.5 weeks. And she did it the way she should have. And she basically got her body to function like she was a kid again before she was sick. But the genes saw there was problems, and the genes repaired and fixed it and destroyed the aversive cells.
You got one more minute to share another story.
Last night I'm on a call, and this fella's talking about how he loves this approach and how he was introduced, and he was skeptical and so on and so forth. But his A1C was like 7.6, and he was borderline diabetic, and he had other problems and arthritis and prostate issues and so on. And he started taking NRF1 and NRF2, and he went back to his doctor, and he stopped taking his metformin and his insulin because it was kind of normal, and his A1C went from 7.6 to 4.4, and he's off of all of diabetic medication, etc. He said, I've lost 32 pounds. He said, I still eat kind of the same way, but he said, the only thing I've done differently is drink more water. But why? It activated his body, got his body to work correctly. I mean, how many people have done?
But, I want to thank you so much, and I hope that people reach out to you. And if you could go to Tracy's website that is on the bottom here, then you can be able to contact her, and then also contact Dr. Rich as well.
Yes.
So thank you for joining us today, and take advantage of Life Advantage, and keep inspired blessings within arm's reach to help give you comfort when others are at a loss for words. Thank you, and God bless. For more information about Jean Marie Prince and Inspired Blessings, please go to jeanmarieprince.com.
JeanMarie.com. That's JeanMariePrince.com. Thank you so much, and God bless.
You took control when I was young, when I